Picture this. You're sitting across from someone you care about deeply. The conversation starts calmly, but then it shifts. A comment is made. Maybe it's a criticism, maybe it's a misunderstanding, and suddenly your chest tightens. Your voice rises. Words spill out, sharp and unthinking. Later, you replay the moment, wishing you could take it all back. Sound familiar? This isn't just about arguments. It's about those moments when life throws something unexpected at you. A rude comment, a missed opportunity, a sudden setback, and you feel your emotions take the wheel. What if you could change that? What if, instead of being swept away by your reactions, you could pause, breathe, and choose how to respond? This is the essence of Stoic philosophy. Not just controlling your emotions, but transforming how you engage with the world. It's about reclaiming your power, one thoughtful response at a time. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like your emotions were running the show? Maybe it's anger that flares up too quickly, or anxiety that paralyzes you when you need to act. If so, you're not alone. Most of us live in a world that rewards quick reactions, fast decisions, instant replies, immediate judgments. But here's the truth. Reacting is easy. Responding, that takes work. If you're ready to do the work, if you're ready to take back control of your mind and your life, then this video is for you. Before we go any further, take a second to hit that like button if you've ever wished you could handle tough moments with more grace. And if you're serious about making a change, subscribe, because what we're about to explore isn't just philosophy, it's a way of life. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to train your mind to respond, not react. You'll learn practical tools rooted in Stoic philosophy, tools that have stood the test of time for over 2,000 years. But before we get to the how, we need to understand the why. Why do we react the way we do? What's happening in our minds when we lose control? And how did the Stoics, living in a world far removed from ours, figure out the secrets to mental resilience? Stick with me, because this isn't just about theory. It's about real, actionable steps you can start using today. But first, let's lay the groundwork. Let's explore why reacting is our default, and why it doesn't have to be. Let's start with the science. When something unexpected happens, whether it's a stressful email, a confrontation, or even a minor inconvenience, your brain kicks into survival mode. This is the fight or flight response, a primal mechanism designed to protect you from danger. Here's how it works. Your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing emotions, detects a threat. It doesn't matter if the threat is real or perceived. Your body reacts the same way. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense, and your rational mind takes a back seat. Think about the last time you were cut off in traffic. Did you honk, yell, feel your blood boil? That's your amygdala hijacking your rational mind. In that moment, you weren't thinking clearly. You were reacting. But here's the question. What if you could pause that split-second reaction? What if, instead of letting your emotions take over, you could choose how to respond? This is where Stoic philosophy comes in. The Stoics understood that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we interpret and respond to it. So, the next time you feel that surge of anger or frustration, ask yourself, is this reaction serving me? Or is it just a reflex, a habit I've fallen into without realizing it? Now, let's talk about the cost. Reacting impulsively doesn't just affect the moment, it can have lasting consequences. Think about a time when you said something in anger and later regretted it. Maybe it damaged a relationship, or maybe it left you feeling ashamed. History is full of examples of people who faced immense challenges and chose to respond with wisdom rather than react with emotion. Take Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoics. As a Roman emperor, he faced betrayal, war, and constant political pressure. Yet, instead of lashing out or giving in to despair, he chose to respond with clarity and purpose. In his personal writings, later published as Meditations, Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Imagine the discipline it took to live by those words, especially in a position of power. But you don't have to be an emperor to apply this wisdom. Think about your own life. How many relationships have been strained because of a reaction you couldn't control? How many opportunities have slipped away because you acted on impulse instead of intention? The cost of reacting isn't just external, it's internal. Every time you let your emotions dictate your actions, you give away a little piece of your power, and over time, those small losses add up. Here's the hard truth. Modern life is designed to trigger us. From the constant ping of notifications to the pressure to always be on, we're bombarded with stimuli that keep us in a state of heightened reactivity. But here's the paradox. The more we try to control our external environment, the less control we actually have. Think about it. You can't control the traffic, the weather, or how other people behave. You can't even control most of the thoughts that pop into your head. So, here's a question to consider. Are we really in control of our lives, or are we just reacting to whatever the world throws at us? The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within. It's not about controlling the external world, it's about mastering your internal world. But how do we achieve that? How do we move from being reactive to responsive? That's where the real work begins, and it starts with understanding the tools the Stoics used to cultivate mental resilience. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is a simple but profound idea, the dichotomy of control. This concept, taught by the philosopher Epictetus, divides the world into two categories, things within our control and things outside of it. Here's how it works. Some things are up to us, our thoughts, our actions, our attitudes. These are within our control. Other things, like the weather, other people's opinions, or unexpected events, are not. The key to peace of mind, according to the Stoics, is knowing the difference. Let's take a modern example. Imagine you're at the airport and your flight is delayed. You can't control the delay, but you can control how you spend the waiting time. You could sit there fuming, scrolling through social media, and complaining to anyone who will listen. Or you could use the time to read, reflect, or even strike up a conversation with a stranger. The delay is the same, but your experience of it is entirely up to you. So, here's a challenge for you. What's one thing in your life you've been trying to control that's actually out of your hands? Is it a relationship, a career goal, a global event? Take a moment to think about it, because the sooner you let go of what you can't control, the more energy you'll have to focus on what you can. Now, let's talk about perception. The Stoics believed that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. In other words, it's not what happens to us that matters, it's how we interpret it. This is where reframing comes in. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, the Stoics saw them as opportunities. A setback wasn't a failure, it was a chance to grow. A criticism wasn't an attack, it was feedback to learn from. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I lost my job. At first, I saw it as a failure. I felt embarrassed, frustrated, and unsure of what to do next. But then I remembered the Stoic idea of reframing. Instead of focusing on what I'd lost, I started thinking about what I could gain. That job loss became an opportunity to explore new paths, to learn new skills, and to reassess what I really wanted from my career. So, here's a question for you. What's a recent setback you've faced? Could you see it differently? Could it be an opportunity in disguise? The way you perceive your challenges can transform them from roadblocks into stepping stones. Finally, let's talk about action. The Stoics didn't just preach about control and perception. They practiced deliberate, thoughtful responses. This is where the rubber meets the road. Here's a step-by-step example. Imagine someone insults you. Your first instinct might be to fire back, to defend yourself, or to stew in anger. But what if instead you paused? What if you took a deep breath and asked yourself, what's the wise response here? The Stoics called this the discipline of action. It's about choosing your response rather than letting your emotions choose for you. It's not easy, it takes practice, but over time it becomes a habit. But here's the thing. What happens when your emotions are too strong to ignore? What happens when the insult cuts deep or the setback feels overwhelming? That's where the real work begins. Because Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about understanding them, working through them, and choosing how to act despite them. So, as we move into the next section, I want you to think about this. What's one situation in your life where you could practice the discipline of action? What would it look like to respond, not react? Mastering the mind isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice. The Stoics understood this, which is why they developed exercises to cultivate mental resilience. Two of the most powerful are morning reflection and evening review. Here's how they work. In the morning, before the chaos of the day begins, take a few minutes to set your intentions. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What challenges might I face, and how will I respond to them? This isn't about planning every detail of your day, it's about preparing your mind. In the evening, review your day. What went well? Where did you struggle? Did you react impulsively, or did you respond with intention? This isn't about self-criticism, it's about self-awareness. Let me share a personal struggle. I used to wake up and immediately check my phone, emails, messages, news. It was like starting my day on someone else's terms. Then I started practicing morning reflection. Now, I take 5 minutes to sit quietly, set my intentions, and remind myself of what's within my control. It's a small habit, but it's made a big difference. So, here's a question for you. What's one small habit you could start today to build mental resilience? It doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before responding to a stressful email or pausing to reflect before making a decision. The key is consistency, because over time, these small habits add up to big changes. Adversity is inevitable, but for the Stoics, it wasn't something to avoid, it was something to embrace. They believed that obstacles are our greatest teachers. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wrote, "The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity." Why? Because it's in the struggle that we grow. It's in the struggle that we discover our strength. Think about your own life. What's a challenge you're facing right now? Maybe it's a difficult relationship, a career setback, or a personal loss. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this teaching me?" Here's a thought-provoking question. Is it possible to be grateful for your struggles? Not in a superficial way, but in a deep, meaningful way. Can you see your challenges as opportunities to grow, to learn, to become stronger? The Stoics believed that adversity is the fire that forges character. Without it, we remain untested, unrefined. So the next time you face a challenge, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this making me stronger?
Let's bring it all together. The Stoic path to mastering the mind can be summed up in 3 steps: awareness, acceptance, and action.
First, awareness. This is about recognizing your reactions, your triggers, your habits, your patterns. It's about understanding what's within your control and what's not. Second, acceptance. This is about letting go of what you can't control and embracing what you can. It's about reframing challenges as opportunities and seeing adversity as a teacher. Finally, action. This is about choosing your response. It's about practicing deliberate, thoughtful actions instead of impulsive reactions. When I started applying these principles, I noticed something profound. I wasn't just reacting less, I was living more. I felt more present, more intentional, more at peace. So, as we near the end of this video, I want to leave you with a question. What's one area of your life where you could replace reaction with response? Is it in your relationships, your work, your daily habits?
The journey to inner peace isn't easy, but it's worth it. And it starts with a single step: the decision to respond, not react.
If you've made it this far, you're already on the path to change. You've taken the time to learn, to reflect, and to consider how Stoic philosophy can transform your life. But here's the truth. Knowledge without action is just noise. Will you take the first step today? Will you choose to respond, not react, the next time life throws a challenge your way? Because every moment you delay is a moment your emotions control you, not the other way around. Think about it. How many more moments of peace, clarity, and strength are you willing to lose? How many more opportunities to grow, to connect, to live intentionally are you willing to let slip away? The choice is yours. But remember, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break the cycle. The time to act is now. If this video resonated with you, if it sparked something inside you, then don't let it end here. Hit that like button to let me know you're ready to take control of your mind and your life. And if you know someone who could benefit from this message, someone who's struggling with their reactions, their emotions, or their sense of control, share this video with them. Because the more we support each other on this journey, the stronger we become. Finally, if you're ready to dive deeper, if you're ready to explore more tools, insights, and practices to master your mind, then subscribe. This is just the beginning. Together, we can build a community of people committed to living with intention, clarity, and strength. Before we go, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder from Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. These words are more than just a quote. They're a call to action. A reminder that no matter what happens in the world around you, you have the power to choose how you respond. So, here's your challenge. The next time you feel the urge to react, whether it's anger, frustration, or fear, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? Because the journey to mastering your mind starts with a single moment, and that moment is now.